Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Ultra League as the new leagues have rotated. Here we have a fantastic lead. They switch into the Cramorant. We're going to switch into our Registeel. We're just going to go for the Zap Cannon here. Let's see, we get the debuff. We do get the debuff right there, so that's fantastic. We don't shield this one as they're probably going for Crunch. It makes sense. And then we're going to race to the next Zap Cannon right here. Same situation. They are going to let it go. They actually survived that. Interesting. And now they're going to be able to get to another move here. Here, they could have gone for the close combat. Exactly what they go for. We decided to let it go because we generally have two things okay against the Swampert, especially with a little bit of energy advantage on the Steelix here. Looks like we are able to get to that Breaking Swipe first, and then we get the debuff. We shield this Hydro Cannon. Next move here, we're going to tank, so then we can throw our Breaking Swipe on optimal timing. This Breaking Swipe goes through, and now they're double debuff, so they got a decision to make. They're going to either have to switch out, or they're going to have to take this Breaking Swipe. They decide to take the Breaking Swipe. They actually have double Charmers in the back right there, so we're going to let this Weather Ball go through. We barely survive, so that we are able to get to this Earthquake right here. This Earthquake does get through, and now we are in a great situation because my Golisopod here is running the Aero Ace, so it does a little bit better against stuff like this, because if I had the X-Scissor, it would not be that effective. And then now we're going to be able to get to another Aero Ace relatively quickly. So GG's to our opponent right there. Shadow Gramble actually on our opponent's side was pretty good. Pretty good as a safe switch. Okay, next we're going to be running into the Mana Buzz. We're going to switch out immediately. Let's see if they have any fighters. They do have a fighter in the back here. So we draw that out. And now we're just going to throw this Zap Cannon. This Zap Cannon does get the debuff, so that's huge for our situation. We don't shield this one. Ends up being the Acid Spray here. So they were trying to go for the bait. But luckily for us, we had the debuff. We were never going to shield anyways. They have the Foul Play Acid Spray combination. We're going to get this Focus Blast here just to get a shield. And they're going to be able to farm us down, but we're going to be able to get back into our Golisopod here because we do have the Aerial Ace on it, so we can get to these moves. They decided to switch out, and then we're going to go back into our Steelix here. We're going to shield here because this is going to do the biggest damage. Ends up being the Shadow Ball. So we just shield the full power Shadow Ball, and now these Shadow Balls are going to get debuffed. Here we are able to get CAP. So we tied it right here, and then we're going to double debuff him here. So this Shadow Ball right here does way less damage now, and now we can make sure we get in control by trying to throw on the next CAP, but they decide to switch out. We're going to switch back into our Golisopod to take out this Scraggy, and then we are met with a Ampharos in the back here. This Ampharos in the back is kind of a problem, so we're going to try to go for this Liquidation. So this Liquidation does get the shield from our opponent, forcing energy out of this Ampharos. Ends up being the Brutal Swing. And at this point, we don't know if it's... okay, so it ends up being the Trailblaze right there. Unfortunately, the Trailblaze does boost their attack, but it doesn't do that much damage. And then luckily, we were able to take it out with the huge Earthquake. Here, we're going to shield the first Shadow Ball. We are anticipating this Mana Bus, no Shadow Ball, and Aero Ace. Otherwise, they would have thrown the Dark move a long time ago, I think. So we're going for this Breaking Swipe here, and now it's going to race to the clock. Will this be the Shadow Ball? Will it be the Aero Ace? Ends up being the Aero Ace. We survived with the Sliver of Hell, so GG's to our opponent right there. Wiggled out of that situation. So if you didn't know about it already, this is a ABB team. We have double steals in the back, protected by the Golisopod. So we're trying to avoid Swampers in the back. Sometimes Charizard with some energy, fighters in the back. So this Gliscor here is kind of a core breaker. So we're going to throw an Aero Ace there to get a shield and switch into our Steelix. They actually switch into their Jellicent right here, which is not a great matchup for us either, but we are able to debuff it. We're going to shield the first one, hoping the Shadow Ball, not the Shadow Ball, ends up being the Surf. So they are able to get to back-to-back Surfs here. And because we had a CAP tie, they win that tie, and then we're going to try to get to another Breaking Swipe at this point. There's no move timing here as we're both 3-turn moves, so they decide to switch into the Swampert. That is terrible for us. So we have to go back in with our Golisopod. We have to shield here. And we just gotta pray, I guess, they don't shield this liquidation at this point. But this is not looking good for our backline. Unfortunate that it is Shadow Swampert in the back. Kind of interesting that they didn't go into their Shadow Swampers versus our Steelix, but I guess that was just a great call by them. So here we're gonna get another Hydro Cannon against us before we get to a move, and they're gonna be able to win this game. They have great timing on their moves, so this is GG's. Another Hydro Cannon goes through, and unfortunately, not the game and not the Swampert we want to see in the back. Let's see if we can wiggle out of a situation. We're going to be facing the Walrein. This Walrein versus the Golisopod is a good matchup for us. We switch in. Oh, we do the wrong switch. We were supposed to go into the Steelix. We had a little bit of a mistap right there. So this is going to be a struggle. We're going to go for this Zap Cannon to just do some chip damage. We do get the debuff, which is nice. This debuff will allow us to survive the next Earth Power, I believe. So we're just going to go for this Focus Blast, do some more chip damage, and hopefully maybe farm down with the Golisopod, I guess, is the plan now. Another Earth Power goes through. We do survive it barely, but we are not able to get to another move. We're going to have to go for this farm down. It looks like they end up running the Stone Edge Nidoqueen. Stone Edge Nidoqueen is a little bit more useful in Ultra League. As opposed to like in Great League, you don't really see Stone Edge being used. Our opponent ends up having Stun Tank in the back there. So we switch into our Steelix. Steelix is going to tank the Crunch, and then we're going to be able to get to this Breaking Swipe here. This Breaking Swipe will be able to debuff, and then our opponent actually ends up shielding, which is good for us. And then we go for another Breaking Swipe. They swap out to reset the debuff, and then we're going to be able to get to this Breaking Swipe right here. This Breaking Swipe does debuff this Walrein. We think that it's going to be an Earthquake. Do we shield? We do shield it, and it's actually an Icicle Spear, so that was unfortunate for us. They did get us to waste a shield right there. And we were trying to catch a move right there because we knew that they were trying to go for this Earthquake. So we do shield that Earthquake right there. And now we just have to try to leave this situation with some energy. But they are able to switch back out. We're going to switch back into our Golisopod. We're going to go for this Aerial Ace. They do shield the Aerial Ace, and they're able to farm us down. So that is going to be GG's for us right there. Unfortunately, not enough health or firepower with this Steelix here to take out this Stun Tank right here. Well played by my opponent right there. And we live and learn. Next game, let's see. We're going to be facing Beastie. So Greninja versus this Golisopod. So this Golisopod unfortunately does not have X-Scissor, so we sacrificed this matchup in particular for a little bit more neutral play against the like Giratinas and stuff like that. So this is unfortunate. We are going to be able to throw neutral Aerial Aces back at this Greninja though, and now they know that they can just stay in. We do get a shield out of this situation, so that's a positive, I guess. They do get the attack buff, so that's not great. We're going to decide to go back in with our Steelix right here. This Steelix is going to try to one shield. They go for the Night Slash. So that tells us that they're going to try to go for another Hydro Cannon. But it looks like they actually just... they do go for the double shield right there. And we do get shields down. Our opponent ends up having the Charizard in the back. And this Charizard is going to be able to get to a Blast Burn, I believe. Yep. We do get the debuff, so we should be able to survive this. Yep. Because of the debuff, we are able to survive it. And because it's not a Shadow, it's not going to be doing that much damage. Here, we're going to go for the next Breaking Swipe. They're trying to farm us down. We do wiggle out of that situation. And then now we're going to switch into our Registeel, and they actually just leave. So that probably means that they had Dragon Claw and Ancient Power, I believe. Otherwise... I think you still have some play here a little bit, but looks like they just decided to leave, and this is GG's. We're just going to play this out, unfortunately. We get stuck into this never-ending cycle. Unfortunately, our fast moves are not doing that much damage, but these Zap Cannons are doing some chip damage, so we should be able to farm down here next. Oh, actually, we already finished this, so GG's. Check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.